Oh wait, okay. Alright, so today we're going to be creating a config file, and here's a high level overview. So we're on step 5. So here's the video overview. We're just going to create the config.json, and this is the directory of where it's going to be. And then we're going to edit the Docker compose file, and this is the directory where that is. Here are our sources for more detail if you guys need. So big picture and why. So why run PrairieLearn in production? This sets up dependencies for persistent data. The purpose of this file we're going to create is this config secures callbacks regarding authentication, and authentication is for persistent user data. And why the Docker compose file? We need to add the config file volume, which is basically just mounting this file to the actual container. So here's the diagram overview. So this is our focus on the diagram. We're going to be using our virtual machine, and we're going to be mounting this actual config.json, and we're going to be mounting it in the pink. You see the PrairieLearn Docker image. Mounting basically just means we're mirroring the file we have on the virtual machine and mirroring it to the Docker container. So here I'm gonna show the walkthrough, and this walkthrough will contain the process of setting up the config file. Alright, welcome back, guys. So today I'm gonna be teaching you just basically adding a file to the PrairieLearn repository right here. It's going to be the config file. It's going to be very useful for us when we do Google authentication and all that. And so to start off with, I just want to show you from so now we have based off of Jack's video, we have PrairieLearn installed, and then we have Docker installed too. So what he did, we're just going to run it again.
So we got a quick clarification here. He is not rerunning everything in the previous video. He is just running Docker with this command, and you will need to do this every single time to run it locally or run it on the remote. It's just how you start up the Docker service.
We're basically just running this file on port 3000. And then we see right here config.json not found, and it's using a default configuration. That's what we're going to change. So just to confirm this is actually running, I mean, it says right here it's running, but I'm just going to show you something pretty cool. So we're going to go to this. Actually, it's right here. So as we can see, if we just access the IP address of the VM, we can see, and then on port 3000 we can see it's actually running. Right now we're not going to do anything with this, but we can see that's running. And then it's not HTTPS right now, but we will be securing that later. And then we will be removing this port 3000, like having to write it in instead. Like we're going to have it like this, where you don't have to write it and it'll automatically know to go to that port. But that'll be all Nginx. Sorry. So now I'm gonna go to Visual Studio, and right here I'm gonna go to the PrairieLearn. So this is the PrairieLearn directory. So now I'm gonna add a new file. It's gonna be the config.json, and then we're just gonna add some random braces. We really don't need to add anything right now. Actually, we can do server port. Oh, we have to make them. Server port and 3000. I believe that's it. And then we can just save that. And now we're gonna map it in our to our actual container. So it's good. It all happens right here in volumes, where basically we're mapping kind of from our local machine to the Docker container to the image. But our local container is just a VM right now. So I'm gonna type in the directory to that config file, and then this colon means that's where we're gonna map it to. So in the VM, or in the Docker container, sorry, it's gonna be PrairieLearn-config.json. And if we save that, so yeah, this is basically accessing right here the file we just created, and we're mapping it to a new file inside the PrairieLearn. If it doesn't find it inside the PrairieLearn Docker container, I'm pretty sure it just creates it. But if it's there, it's going to use the one on our local machine. So we're just going to rerun this, and you guys will see that we don't have this message anymore. I actually forgot a little I right here. I always forget that I. So now it should work. So we will see that message not pop up anymore. As we can see, it does detect the config.json, and then we will be adding more stuff for our Google authentication later. But just to verify that it's still running, we're going to go to it again and see it is still going good. So that's the video for today, guys. I'll see you in the next one. So recap, the config files for the PrairieLearn production are not created, and now you can add configs for OAuth, and we'll be doing that later on. And OAuth will allow for persistent user data. So the next step will be generating SSL requests, and this will be the SSL key and certificate request for HTTPS. Now we're going to be using OpenSSL, generating the private key and the certificate signing request, and then we're just going to send this file, the certificate request, to ETG, and I'll be going in more in depth in the next video. Thank you.